Hello and salutations, listeners of the one and only Paperback Radio. This is the Gnome Avenger, here to tell you a story so sumptuous, so delectable, absolutely magnanimous, that you'll be licking your chops and pardoning criminals in no time. This is the story of Cinderella as you've never wanted to hear it, from the perspective of two busybodies who should have other things to do. Welcome and enjoy What a To-Do, Part 1. A person should avoid, whenever possible, confusing the competing aims of dances, balls, and masquerades. Each is quite incongruous at the best of times. At worst, a person might find their social value, their very purpose, stripped down and ridiculed. Degradation is the price of misreading a room. You know, it might be quite diverting to begin issuing last rites for such social faux pas. I'd be willing to begin the practice myself. Here lies little Mrs. So-and-so, gone at the tender age of 19, reputation pronounced deceased, truly murdered by acts of ritual torture, death by 1,000 gossips. She lies beside Colonel by the Book, who, despite braving strange and foreign armies, charging through tides of enemy ammunition, sneezed a distinctly unmasculine octave. The plague would have been kinder by comparison. Now don't tisk. Hyperbole is the cornerstone of any gentleman, at least those caught in the web of peace. So let us drink to better days, and... where was I? Ah, yes, the difference between dances, balls, and masks. Can you tell me? I doubt, but please, please, do not live in fear. Most are able to navigate the three celebrations quite instinctually. Some wiser part of our unconscious nature protects the pitiful, waking self. Cheers. It burns. Lord help me, I feel.
Are you going to answer the question?
So sorry, what did you ask?
I didn't. You did. At the top of this tiresome soliloquy.
Monologue, my dear. I'm not alone. A soliloquy requires the actor isolated a stage, his innermost feelings directed solely for the audience.
And what is the term for an uninterrupted masturbatory verbal spew?
What is this? Nothing but critics.
The difference between a dance...
a dance, ball, and masquerade.
Uh-huh.
It's fairly simple. Another drink, barkeep, and see here. Treat me like the family, eh? The ones you love, mind. Here, take this and go in peace.
Heavy tip.
For him, yes. For me, I won't remember. Dances are family affairs. Country dances, city dances, parlor dances. Songs played definitively off-key. Gossip flows with cheap punch, and if one is inclined to think of love...
which I am.
Here be the occasion where old friends form stronger attachments. Imagine a scene. Marianne, the third daughter of a minor landowner, here with Chester, son of the local curate.
They've known each other a lifetime.
Affection already established.
Or maybe a slight crush.
Without a doubt. But whether the match is approved or not...
Marianne realizes she adores him, loves him, and will fight for her future.
Correct.
So a dance, one might say...
Oh, please do.
...is where love stands revealed.
One might.
Useless to me. Define the others.
Ooh, she has plots. Oh, thank you, Jenkins. My, we are very kind to the relations. This will put me in a frighteningly flirtatious state. Cheers.
Balls.
Yes. Balls are another matter entirely. Much grander. A ball is a community melee. Wit wealth, beauty, connections, fame, power, all weapons wielded mercilessly, winners and prizes awarded via marriage proposals or invitations to such and such. Ruses take the form of unbelievable but salacious gossip. However, one must be careful. Death hovers amidst the finery. Socially, I mean, though I have seen the odd duel.
How might one perish so?
By believing your enemies are one's friends, by confessing love you've not conquered, by giggling and acting the fool before those who lack kindly humours, by letting passion erupt in the arms of a handsome rake. These may all lead to an unlife. Indeed, balls are very dangerous.
More so than masquerades. I hope so. Your little performance here indicates an upward intensity.
Dangerous? Debatable. During the ball, a young woman puts everything on the line. She declares to the hells, heaven, and the court, "This is who I am." But at a masquerade, here we must be anyone else. And there is danger in the mask, for there is freedom. One feels they may do anything whilst being someone else. But the sun always rises, and those who are inclined may discover much.
And what kind of celebration is the prince holding?
Well, as a young man with working parts, he desires a masquerade. But the king and queen want to secure political succession and therefore hunt a bride. So it will function as a ball. Frankly, this mixture of forms is bound to be a disaster, aesthetically, morally. However, I have hopes there will be a dash of scandal.
Indeed, I may have the very thing in mind.
Oh, delightful. Now, how might I be of service?
This may surprise you, but in my past, and these were dark days indeed, I had the deep misfortune to make a friend.
Lover.
No, I wish. Then I would be able to warm my dreams with memories and not be burdened by responsibilities. No, this was a friend, a true friend, the kind who protects and defines one's soul. A poor girl, if we're being honest. And, well, we met in the woods.
When was this now?
Oh, maybe a day or two ago, a few years, no less than 20.
Well, the fairer sex does incline towards more intense passions.
Do we?
Maybe I simply inspire them.
Ah, a jolt of visceral disgust.
The twist of amorous delights. But continue. This poor child lost in the woods for whom you developed a lifelong attachment. How old was she at the time?
9.
And you?
How rude, sir. I'd never suspect a man of your proclaimed sophistication would ask such an impertinent...
Oh, come now, let's not be dear. Vivacity, your name is... 1,000 pardons, what is your name?
Madyln?
Of course, and I am...
Rupert.
Of course. But a woman of such vigour, energy, indeed of such magnificent potency, she cannot be more than a handful of centuries.
So you know.
Very little, but a woman of your striking beauty, speaking to a footman of little worth but some skill, and no one else batting an eye, seems a glamour might be involved, and I am always inclined to offer my services to fairies.
Humble little footman. Now, tisk tisk. A few of my sisters mentioned other skills.
Madam, certain things I cannot discuss in public. But I will say honestly, if in hushed tones, whatever your sister said when discussing my art, understand, no exaggeration is possible.
Come now, do you truly claim to be a magician of such worth?
Oh, the spells! No, hardly a dabble I picked up from Mummy. I thought you were referring to my skill in the boudoir.
May I have your focus?
Undivided.
The undying and unborn find children to be a wonder. No guarding of delight or suppression of despair. Those of us with a modicum of civility assume the shapes of animals or dragons, occasionally small-winged beauties, imaginary friends, so we might dance and play with innocence, comfort in times of grief. But once cynicism creeps inward and human arrogance stretches and deforms their spirit, we leave them to the world without a song.
Just like that.
Typically.
Odd.
Is it now?
I found leaving my charge rather difficult.
And as my tale goes, so did I.
What was her name?
Penelope. I called her Penny.
Lovely.
I always thought so. Every year I imagined would be our last. She'd grow tired, I suppose. On a few occasions I seemed so petulant. I tried to chase her away, but Penny always seemed to understand me. I grew into myself watching her age. Ridiculous. So of course she married for love. A well-to-do woodsman, kind, handsome, unworthy. But what could I do? She never listened. No, that's not true. She didn't obey. And that hurts, because I've all this experience and seen endless generations. There isn't a soul in a millennium who could compare to my Penny, and I asked her to come with me. Step through the veil past your dreams, but she wouldn't.
Care for a drink?
Thank you. We come to this place because it grows. Ours is still. There was a child. I refused to see the babe. Hated the little parasite. Stole my time, my girl, a toothless brute. Don't know how that changed.
They do grow on you.
As I've learned.
Tell me, when did Penny die?
16 years ago. The larva had reached a new stage where it could waddle to and fro. Her husband tried to help, found me in fact, travelled past the veil into my home, which was more than I thought him capable. But nothing could be done, even with my powers.
My mother once told me, never confuse magic for miracles.
Wise woman.
At times.
The dying have radically more influence over the living than they should. It's not as if she could chastise me for lying, but I promised to look after her child, guide her, teach her, help her achieve the life Penny lost.
So you've always looked after her then?
Not really. I blessed the wailing little girl with every virtue I could conjure, and flew off to battle dragons or drink. The pain never left, but my joy returned after a time.
Shall we have another taste of brandy or gin?
More than a taste.
Barkeep, I'll have a second glass and no sass. No judgment either, thank you. I'm nothing if not generous with other people's money. Now tell me, thank you, Jenkins, do we find ourselves conspiring on the eve of a masked ball?
2 weeks ago, I found myself drifting back through the old woods. Thought I'd take a turnabout, see the sights, but within an hour I'm staring at our tree.
You had a particular tree with Penny then?
We had to meet somewhere. This is very good.
Always go to Jenkins. That man is a gift.
I hear weeping. Now, I have every intention of punishing the interruption, stealing a voice or spreading warts over their face naturally.
Do not confuse me with a man who argues.
But I held back. Maybe I knew. Seems likely in retrospect. Birds chirped in response to her tears, comforting. Animals don't usually awaken near humans. She'd have to be a very blessed young lady.
She seemed very similar to Penny then.
Hardly. My friend struggled to attract attention mid-drowning. She could clean up well enough, and anyone fortunate enough to know her soon became absorbed in her eyes. But she was an acquired aesthetic.
Like her daughter.
People that beautiful have no business living near the woods, simply asking to be kidnapped by the elves or cursed by goddesses.
So we are in the business of finding her a husband.
How did you know?
The ball.
Bride hunting?
In due time. Tell me, what did you say?
Oh, nothing at first. I wanted to see what kind of a person my beloved had produced. Seemed that if she possessed a foul nature, or worse, mediocre taste, it would free me from my eternal vow.
That does seem like a standard clause.
So I followed her, saw the woodsman, house a bit larger than before.
Done well for himself, had he?
Please, that was my blessing. I wanted her to be raised in comfort, but I didn't think through all the dangers. The clueless axeman had remarried.
Well, how dare he?
Sarcasm is the refuge of the uninspired.
But it's also their delight.
This was simply not a manner of an unworthy replacement. Of course she was unworthy, can't be helped. Penny was magnificent. Another woman could not help but fall short. The problem lay in the fact that she was a total, utter, and unrepentant bitch.
That seems harsh.
When I met her, she had my goddaughter digging through ashes in order to pick out lentils.
I'm sorry, that's confusing. What for?
How should I know? Not to mention she acts as a servant to this woman's two hideous daughters.
Do we have any names whatsoever? I'm beginning to lose the thread.
Wicked stepmother, wicked stepsister 1, wicked stepsister 2, witless father, and...
You know the name of your childhood friend's daughter?
I know Penny's daughter's name.
Which is?
Very pretty.
Lovely, and it is?
I'll tell you what those hags call her, those murderous creatures, vile. They christened her Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Because she's filthy after going through the fireplace.
So this ashen lentil recovery is a recurring circumstance, is it?
Most assuredly.
But not her given name.
Certainly not.
How unfortunate.
So you see what must be done.
I imagine you want to marry your dust-covered peasant woman to my prince.
Well, what makes him such a catch?
The castle.
Hardly seems like much, but you said he needed a bride.
I did at that indeed.
And he can't do better than my Cinderella.
So this is the name we too are using.
Well, it's very memorable.
How long have you been spying on this young girl?
2 weeks.
And what brings you here?
Well, the rest of the family has been invited to this ungodly mixture of ball and masquerade.
Oh, have they? Must have done very well for himself. He's a woodsman, you say?
My blessings do not disappoint.
No, indeed. I'm afraid I must ask you a series of questions. They cannot be lies, or even evasions.
I would never.
Of course. Now, this Cinderella, is she kind-hearted?
Penny's daughter is that.
You've sworn to look after her?
I have, and intend to do so.
Is she beautiful?
Does that matter?
To the prince, yes.
I do not have the prose to describe the person without resorting to vulgarity.
Well, here is my request for aid. First, you offer 3 blessings at their wedding. 1 for their happiness, 1 for peace, and 1 at your own discretion.
So magnanimous.
I'm not quite finished. I'd also like a blessing for each of their children.
We are being very demanding.
I think not, because I offer my presence. You'll not need to visit more often than the occasional wind. I've my own tricks to aid, should the need arise.
As you've done for your prince.
On the nose.
Will there be objections to her rank?
Loud and often and from every corner, naturally, but none that I won't be able to circumvent. The Queen will be our ally.
Oh, open-minded is she?
Yes, as a gallows judge, but I've a few memories she'd rather I kept unspoken. If your lady is everything promised, I'll not get in the way, and indeed, I'll go further and sabotage anyone else who might be inclined.
The day of this masque is tomorrow, yes?
All night. We've days of festivities planned.
Then allow me to wish you a good morning.
Madyln? Perchance. Is her name Ella? Ella's going through the cinders, therefore Cinderella.
Of course! I simply wanted to see if you're as clever as your reputation, Rupert.
I try. Charmed.
Not yet. Keep flirting and we'll see what happens.
She's gone. But I'll have another drink, Jenkins. And then it's time for work.
Whatever shall I wear? This is always the most important question when confronting humanity. Now, for my people, this isn't simply a question of stitched fabric, bejeweled footwear, or breathtaking cuts. Should I tower 12 feet tall? Is this an occasion for spots? I mean, scattered across my face. Maybe I'll simply be a moonlight reflection of her worst fear. No, I should inspire trust. A warm, maternal feelings, with a dash of otherworldly authority. The opposite of her whore of a stepmother. Whereas that woman maintains the bony embalmed glee of one who fears death. I'll allow my cheeks to plump. Yes, a full figure, a sweet smile, glistening wings like a crystalline dragonfly, beating fast enough to blur. Jewelry made from captured candlelight that glows in seafoam hair. Dark violet shadows wrap around my new body as starlight falls from the sky, leaving a pattern of glowing silver spiderwebbing across the dress. With a simple flick of my wrist, I conjure a mirror. Is it my fault that I can make any shape look good? Now it's time to wait. Poor little Ella, has come to this spot every evening over the past fortnight. I must find the correct moment to offer my introduction. Nerves nib at my conscience. How strange. Guilt? I'd be lying if I said I didn't regret waiting so long to visit, but my blessing should have kept her safe. Who are you kidding? We all know the double-edged destiny that comes with wishing. Like most mortals, patience is not a quality I possess. Fortunately, my goddaughter does not waste time. Magic lives far beyond the original casting. Curses, enchantments, blessings, spells don't wane over lifetimes. They grow with the recipient, fueled by their choices, twisted through sin, intensified by virtue. When I'd offered my gift of beauty, she'd been buck-toothed, sandy-haired, snot dripping in copious amounts. But as she turns the corner of the path, the moon dims in envy. Her hair falls in currents, night-black curls bounce, promising life. Fortunately for those with eyes, not a single lock cuts across her beautiful face. Soft cheeks outline a pensive expression. Sapphire eyes threaten to drown the viewer in a blue deeper than the ocean. She's a dancer's fantasy, with long legs and gentle steps. Even with time, practice, and power, I could never match this beauty. So I've got something to work with. But we must remember mankind sees with less than refined senses. Right now, the dirt, second-hand servants' garments, and misery disguise my poor Ella. These will have to be put aside. Also, she carries unneeded humility atop her like a mule. These unflattering mirages must be dispelled. Despite some unkind words offered earlier, her sisters might be considered somewhat pretty, and they know how to dress. It would hardly be a consideration, but I overheard the step-bitch scheming with her pups. The prince will be ensorcelled. They even tried stealing some of their sister's beauty for the plot. However, none of their incantations finished. Wicked women trying to tap into my power without proper begging. I'll remember that. Sorry I'm late, Mama. The muse in waiting placed the sunflowers across the tree. These were the only ones I could find. Ah, it's her voice that reminds me of Penny. Not as soft, but still sweet, vibrating with ebullience even as misery slithers into her soul. Your mother loved sunflowers. My echo dances among the leaves and rushes past her hair. My voice kisses her cheeks with cold. Ella shrieks, but my girl does not flee. Even as I appear in a flash of light, my wings shimmer, shaking off diamond dust. My smile matches the moon. Ella, darling, I'm your fairy godmother. Slowly, but with a firm way about her, she stands and curtsies. A pleasure to see you again, Madyln. Yes, well. 'Tis been a season or two, I admit. Lovely that you still keep your beloved mother's grave. I'm here now. How about a kiss and a hug? More than a decade since I've seen your face. So grown up. Thanks to you, Ella answers. So she remembered the blessing. How very interesting. A pinch, nothing more. Tell me, lovely little Elle, what can I do? She hesitates. Ella knows I mean well, but she does not have her mother's purity. A fairy abandoned her once. It could happen again. My dear, tell me what you wish. And she does. Hiya, I'm LJ.
And I'm Lane McLeod Jackson.
You're a troll.
What? I thought it was funny.
We're here to let you know you can also find us on Substack under
Paperback Productions.
Yep, this podcast and other goodies will be delivered right to your inbox if you subscribe.
So please support us.
Emotionally.
Financially.
Dramatically. See, I can be funny too.
Try to be professional, okay, babe? Thank you all for your support.